Hello! Okay, we are back with some more indie decks. This is part 2 of 3 for the indie tarots, because, yeah, definitely it had to get broken up into 3. But that's okay, because that just means more fun here. So, I think let's just, as usual, get right into it. Starting with the top of the pile, we've got the, oh my gosh, Playful Heart Tarot. I don't know how my brain always blanks on this, considering I use it so often. I have this in another one of those Moonlit Fae collaboration bags. Look how cute! That looks just like Stevie when she was a baby. Oh my gosh. So adorable. So as stated, I use this one all the time. It is such a favorite. It's on that beautiful linen cardstock, the, oh, what's that company's name? I've got Make playing cards in my head and that's not right. It's like the bougier one that, the Uzi decks are printed on. You know what I mean. You know what I'm saying. But this deck is everything. Every time I talk about it, I always say it feels like what the inside of my brain looks like. And so from the get-go, I just heavily related and just, it felt like I just innately understood everything happening here. And I love it. It's so fun and colorful. I have her journal stamps now. So fun. And she just came out with a Marseille, which is currently under our Christmas tree. That Paul and I are so bad with presents. We never surprise each other because we both are big hobby people, so there's always something that we want. And this is actually even the first time we're being good and waiting until Christmas. I don't know if he'll make it to Christmas with his gift, because it is really cool and fun, but he might. He'll make it close. But I'm gonna make it to Christmas because, I don't know, it just feels like that's gonna be fun for that deck, the Pipsqueak. But anyway, love this one. I use it all the time. And I love that it has this special bag. Ooh, I edged it in rainbow colors too. There was one time where Zara Kitten Chops sold a few decks that she had edged in all rainbow colors, and hers was like super bright neon colored. Mine started that way. It's kind of got faded because I use it so much, but still fun. All right. The Abyssal Tarot. Big nudity warning. Just gonna put that out there. I love this tarot. I really do. It's got a very specific feel to it. So this one actually, surprisingly, or I guess I should say it surprised me. There's a card in here that's meant to be Artemis, and the first few times I used the deck, the card just kept coming up, and it was when I started just having an interest in the goddess Artemis. So now this deck has kind of gotten slotted there, where I use it as a deck for her because she just, I don't know, seemed to want it. But it's a beautiful, beautiful photography deck, all taken underwater. So that, it just gives it a really interesting energy that sometimes it's amazing and sometimes it actually like really feels a little suffocating. Here's the card. Isn't that beautiful? Almost feels a little suffocating in a way. But the fact that, I mean, these images can do that, I think is just so amazing. So I love that. And all the backs looks like they've just been like cut from the same paper but different. I don't know, it's really neat. So that's the Abyssal Tarot. Okay, next we've got the Tarot of Plants, and I don't know. This is by Empty and Amazing, who is the same creator as the Oh, it's another oracle. I'm completely blanking on the name of it, but it's a square photography one, and I love the oracle. And it's funny because I didn't even go in intending to get the oracle, but there was just a little mistake with my order for this, and the creator was so nice. And basically I ordered one for me and for Andy, and we got one in the mail. So she sent out the other deck, which was like, I mean, all she had to do, but was so nice, and sent a copy of her oracle too. It was just so cool. And it's kind of funny because I love the oracle so much, and I'm not sure about this one. And it's beautiful and really, really cool. And I got this with my gardening journey this year. But I think it's just not an art style that's for me. I really, as much as I wish I loved watercolor decks, they're kind of tough for me, and I don't know why. I just don't really tend to visually love the art style. And while this was fun to use, I think I just at this point have so many plant decks that I do really love that it's almost like, why keep something that I don't really love, except that this has, because there's 78 cards, it has so many plants in it. But I don't ultimately know that this one's for me. It will certainly sit, it's gonna go in the purgatory pile, but it will sit there until next season, next gardening season. Because I know it's definitely not one I'm going to use now, but I want to see if there is regained interest in the right season for it. Which I like to do. If there's decks that I put into purgatory that definitely feel seasonal for me, I will not make the decision off season. Because, of course, I don't want to use it right now because I'm not gardening right now. Not gardening outside anyway, but it is beautiful and it's really cool. I don't know. It just doesn't excite me. And I've got a lot of plant decks that do. So that's the Tarot of Plants. Look at the box. I mean, gosh, it's pretty. But I think that one's gonna have to go into the purgatory. Now, oh, that one I knew I did not. The Light Sprite Tarot? Is that what it's called? I pulled these out last night and was like, oh, I don't remember what this one's called. Because I have it in a bag and I've just had it for so long now. Okay, I'm right. Light Sprite Tarot. I have it in this bag. That does not match it, but this is a deck that really came up as a spirit guide deck for me. So, a friend of mine who does a lot of pendulum work kind of helped me connect and see what color bag they wanted, and they wanted burgundy, so that's what we went with. But I love this deck. This is what helps me communicate specifically with a spirit guide that I work with. Beyond that, I just think it's cute. I love these little glowing figures in nature because as much as I love all my fairy decks and how they are illustrated, I like that this one leaves it open to ambiguity of we don't really know what they look like. And I like how these glowing stick figures just kind of leave it as this ambiguous entity. I really enjoy that. But it's on a beautiful linen cardstock, and I know an edition has come out since this one, where the images are a bit clearer, I want to say. I don't know. I don't really notice that any of them are unclear, but that's a thing. But I love it. I love this deck. Light Sprite Tarot. This one pretty much lives... I have a little altar for them and it lives on there. Pretty much. Okay. Ooh. This is my one major arcana deck right now. It's the Orphans of Dudley Town. This is a Halloween deck for me, for sure. I got this past Halloween season and absolutely loved it. I really, really loved it. I mean, how could you not? It's so fun. It really fits that season so well. I pretty much, and I've wanted it in the past, but just wasn't really a majors only deck kind of person, but I pretty much just used it like an oracle and liked how it worked that way. So I don't really have an interest in getting like tons more major arcanas. I think for me they're something that now I know how I like to use them, but I'll probably just it'll be like just specific subjects I like this one being for Samhain Halloween. I love having special decks for that season. And then I did back one on Kickstarter based around the grim adventures of Billy and Mandy, which is a cartoon I loved as a kid. So that'll go in kind of my fandom deck category, so that's, you know, that's okay. But yeah, this one's so fun. Orphans of Dudley Town. The Witch's Tarot. This one I got this year, used somewhere. I don't remember where. eBay maybe? And I don't know. I feel unsure. I feel like I don't really understand how a lot of the images necessarily match up. And also, I don't really know if this is... I can appreciate how beautiful the images are, but is this really very me? Probably not. It was really interesting to try out, but ultimately, I don't know that I see the situation I would pull this out in. You know? Oh, I love that card though. Look how beautiful that is. I think this is one that still needs more of a chance. Kind of intentional use, you know? Did I have a pile going for that? And I love all the extra oracle cards, or extra like major arcanas. That was the thing that drew me to it as well. So I think... I think it's one I need to spend some more time with, because it is relatively new. Like, look at that. It's so pretty. Yeah, okay. I think this is gonna go into the decks I want to spend more time with this coming year. Because I do think there could be something there, because I really was drawn to it. And like spent a long time kind of hemming and hawing about it. So, yes, I think that's where it's gonna go. This is the Yokai Yochi deck. This one is really cool. I really don't use it a lot. I think this is one that also, it's just a little bit hard to pair for me, but I like having it. It's just one of those ones where I just like it, and so even if I don't use it tons, that's okay. But I haven't really I haven't figured out where this one lands for me, like what I feel I like using it for, seasonally, where does it go? What do I pair it with? There's just a lot of questions with this one. But it's not one, like I don't picture myself ever getting rid of this one because I just like it. I love the imagery. I love the whole concept around the deck of Japanese folktales. So yeah, I don't know. Let me know if you have things you really love pairing with this deck. If you have it, I'd love to hear, because I kind of feel like that's the holdup for me, because it's really cool. It's a cool deck. So that is the Yokai Yochi Tarot. Okay. Alright, next we've got... Ooh, yeah. The Laflora Tarot. And this is what I'm thinking where, like, I've got, with that, Tarot of Plants, like, I've got plant tarots I really love, because I've got this one that is so awesome. And also the, Herb Crafters. But this one is also on the same cardstock as Playful Heart and the Usi decks. I don't remember what it's called. But it's so beautiful. It's a black and white deck, which usually I'm not huge on, but the way the artwork is done and just, I don't know, all the plants, it makes all these plants look so beautiful. And of course they're beautiful to begin with, but there's something about it I really, really enjoy. And I really enjoy in the spring and summer taking this deck and pulling out the cards for the plants I'm growing and seeing what kind of energies they've been paired with and things of that sort. It's just a gorgeous deck. I especially find I love this one in the springtime where things aren't super growing yet, but it feels like this waking up, and I feel like that's what this deck feels like because it's black and white, so it's a little bit naturally more subdued, I feel. That's what I find, at least with black and white decks, it feels a little subdued. It feels like it fits perfectly in that waking up kind of energy. So I really, really enjoy this one. That is the Laflora Tarot. Next up, we've got the Dark Goddess Tarot. This is the indie edition that Andy was able to get me at the Northwest Tarot Symposium. So excited about that. And for the regular price too. So cool. It's so cool knowing that Ellen Lorenzi Prince just like brought these with her, and now I have one. It's so cool. So this I do have the mass market of as well, but I'm showing the indie one because now that I have this, this is what I use. And the mass market I'm pretty much just keeping because I want the guidebook. So if anyone's interested in just having the cards from the mass market, or like you'd like to have extra cards to use as altar cards or something, I don't know, let me know, because I don't really have a need for the cards anymore, but I want the full-size book. Well, actually, I think this deck has an app you can get. I feel like I've heard that. Anyway, I really, really love this deck. This is probably the Ellen Lorenzi Prince deck I use the most. Whether it's shuffling and drawing a card, or a lot of times I will use this kind of in a similar way with the Laflora Tarot I just said, where I will look for the goddesses I'm working with and see the tarot association. Or, like this year, my card of the year was Temperance, so I had this pulled out for a while so I could see, like, okay, Bridget is related with Temperance in this deck, so like I spent some time learning more about her. It was just really neat. And I really like this. I really like this tarot. I like the mix of goddesses we get. There's something about it, and something about the way she illustrates deity figures that I just really love. And I'm realizing, where is... Woo! Whoa! So sorry. Gosh, it's like I'm breaking the fourth wall. My light. Anyway, her other deck I have is in the... will be in the next video. But I love this one. It's a great one. And the Mass Marque one I really enjoy as well. So, like, it wasn't a thing where I was on the hunt for this by any means, or gonna pay the very crazy price as it goes for these days. But since it was there for the regular price, like, yes. But I love the Mass Market one. Okay. So, Dark Goddess Tarot. Okay, next we've got a bit of a set. We've got the Dark Days Tarot, and should we just pull them out at the same time? I think so, because I use them together. And the Mother Tarot. Love these. They're square decks, so they're going to be turned every which way right now, so apologies for that. But I really like these ones. I had the Dark Days Tarot one first because I want to say, I don't know, Andy ended up with a free copy somehow, but she already had these decks. So she sent me the Dark Days one. And I really enjoyed that one, but didn't use it too often. And then I was able to get the Mother, so this, did I say? Mother Tarot. Used somehow, and since getting that as well, I've been using them together, and oh my gosh, it just changes the game, being able to use them together. So how I like to use them is, they kind of have a bit of a permanent pairing, which I'm not usually one to do that. I like mixing around all my decks, but that's just how these two landed. I pair them with the Oracle of the Shadow and Oracle of the... no, Wisdom of the Shadow and Wisdom of the Divine Feminine oracles, because those I use as a pair as well. So I do just like a full reading where on one side there's the shadow, on one side there's kind of the how to heal aspect, and of course this goes with Wisdom of the Shadow, and that's usually where I start the reading, and then this Mother Tarot goes with the Wisdom of the Divine Feminine, and it just, the readings I get from the four decks together are just so amazing, and I love that these two kind of go together as a pair, and the those Wisdom oracles are a pair as well, and they just work so magically together. So they really have just become a a little friend group that I cannot separate, and I love it. So that's the Mother Tarot and the Dark Days Tarot. And actually, I haven't done one of those readings in a hot minute. I should... that sounds kind of fun. I'm going to leave those out to remember to do that. Okay. Tarot Avatara. Oh my goodness. My little mushroom. So good. This is definitely, hands down, my favorite Gabby Angus West deck. I've had all of them. The only one I don't have anymore is the Bonefire, because that one just didn't really work for me. But this, like, I feel fulfilled just having this tarot. It's all based around Frida Kahlo, who I love. I love her story. And it just, it's an intense, shadowy deck, to me, anyway. It's got this real fiery energy, so I know, like, if I'm using this, it's going to bring the heat, you know? But it just hits the nail on the head every single time, and it's so cool how, I guess cool and a little sad, I suppose, how Frida Kahlo's experience and I suppose more so her thinking around her experience is a kind of a universally felt thing, which is really interesting. I guess I shouldn't say universal, but many people I think can relate to the stories of Frida Kahlo, which makes this deck feel really special. And the artwork is so good. I really, really love this one. That is Tarot Avatara. And this one stays, even though I'm not usually one to keep, anytime a box has an insert, it's almost guaranteed I'm gonna make a bag, because to me that means the box is too big. But for this deck, like, refuses. I've tried to put it in bags and doesn't feel right. It wants to stay in her box, and so we let her. Tarot Avatara, an amazing one. Okay. The Raven's Dream Tarot. This is the latest MJ Coolning deck, I want to say. She has an oracle coming out soon that I think I want to get. Because it's a liminal forest oracle. It seems so cool, but I have really been enjoying this deck. At this point, the decks I have from her are this and the For Hoxa Tarot, which I also love. Are we showing that this time? No, that's next time. But yeah, this one has really, I like using it generally, but Raven's Dream, it really slots well as a dream interpretation deck, which I've been having some kooky dreams. I don't know about all of you. Really kooky dreams. And so I've really enjoyed pulling this one out to kind of help me sort through, okay, what's going on there. But basically we follow the dream world of this one raven, and it's so neat kind of viewing. It feels like you're viewing the world through the mind of the raven. But if you think of dreams, it's almost like it's not reality, it's how we interpret and process reality. So it just is this really cool, many-layered thing, it feels. Where it's like, you're looking at these images and it's like, well, we can't trust these images as reality. It's how this raven is processing reality, which is so neat. It's so cool to think about. So I even just love it for that. Just the cool thought process. So yeah, Raven's Dream Tarot. Okay, next is a Kickstarter that came in, maybe like 2 weeks ago or so. 3? No, beginning of November. Oh my gosh, I've had this for a hot minute now. Ritual Tarot. I'm so excited! I'm so excited about this. Because I got a used copy, like really cheap. Because the person had edged it, and I guess in their opinion didn't do like a great job. Oh, and the book was damaged. Anyway, but of the original, I should say the first edition. And it just, I don't know, it just didn't really, I really enjoyed it, and it was something I knew if I just really spent the time, I could figure it out. But at that moment, I wasn't going to, and Andy wanted to give it a try, so I ended up sending it to her. And then saw that she was working on a marked version. And just in my head, I was like, alright, you know what, I'm gonna get that. Because then it's like out of the box, I can really fully appreciate the deck and especially how she has it. Originally there was gonna be titles, which I wasn't sure how I felt about that, but she changed it where it's on the back. So I can still pull the cards and use it just like that first edition, but instead of kind of searching through the book, I can flip it over and see what it is. And something about that, it just feels less daunting to me. Because I think having to search through the book was a bit of a, just, I was not drawn to use it because of that step. So now it's sort of like, okay, I've already been using this a lot, and I'm already starting to recognize some of these cards, so it's not really changing that experience for me. It's just making it a little bit easier. But I've really been enjoying this one. I really have liked pairing it with the Mysteries of the Black Madonna, actually. It feels like a very spiritual, divine kind of deck, doesn't it? And now I'm looking at it. Ooh, and I should try pairing it with the Hellenic Oracle. Oh my gosh, that would be so cool. That'd be so cool. Oh, I gotta try that. Or even my new one, the Divine Ephemera. That would be awesome. Do I even have that in here to show? Did I include my own decks? No. I guess I should do that. Well, we'll think about that. Maybe the next one. But yeah, I'm super excited about this one. I think it's so well done. It comes in this gorgeous 2-piece box that fits it perfectly. Doesn't that make us all happy when it just like fits in its nice little home with this little guidebook, all nice and compact. Yes. Ritual Tarot. Alright, next we've got Oash and Thorn, the full-sized edition, which I really love, and I have the pocket edition now too, and kind of thought that this one would kind of go into retirement a little, but I love the bag I made for it so much, because usually, like with my different editions of the Northern Animal, other than the first edition, which stays in its beautiful sandy made home out all the time, the other editions have had just kind of go back in their box and go on display. So I thought that's what would happen with this one, but I love the bag I made so much that I was like, I can't separate them. So then it went on the shelf in the bag, and I just found that I still used it. They actually get pretty equal use. It just depends on what mood I'm in, what kind of reading I'm doing, but this is such a favorite. I mean, isn't it a favorite of so many of us for such good reason? It's so magical. I'm really excited because Andy's daughter, who lives in the UK, is coming home from the holidays. And whenever she comes home, me and Andy like order so many things to where she's staying for her to bring home. So we don't have to pay the shipping. And I was saving the purchase of the Oracle. What's it called? Wow, memory today is just not happening. The 3 Trees Tarot Oracle that just came out. Thistledown. Which is the same. Actually, that's funny. Now 2 Christmases in a row, I've gotten a 3 Trees Tarot deck because last Christmas, Andy and I ordered the pocket editions to her. And now this Christmas, she's bringing home Thistledown. I'm so excited for it. But yeah, this is such a favorite. I love it. Oash and Thorn. Alright. The Animal Botanical Tarot. Love this one. If you didn't see, I did a very lengthy walkthrough of this one where I went through the deck in order and went through the guidebook as well to see what all of the cards have: an animal, a plant, and then almost like a little side character creature. Usually it's bugs, just depending on the setting, but oh my gosh, is it so beautiful and so well done. I absolutely love it. This has instantly slotted as a favorite animal deck for me. Because it has such amazing information in there. Oh my gosh, it's just got everything I could possibly want. And the quality is amazing, the backs are beautiful, everything about it is so good. Oh, look at that. I am just still obsessed with this tarot. And especially the pentacle suit is everything I could want and more. Truly. So yeah, this really has become a favorite animal deck for me. I love it so much. So that's the Animal Botanical Tarot, and if you want to see more again, I think it was like almost a 2-hour video, and I filmed it in like 4 different sittings. No, 5. I did a sitting per suit, so yeah, it's a long one, but if you're interested, that's there. Okay. This is the, oh, we're missing a bead. Okay, gotta fix that. Trion Fidel Luna Illustrated, the original edition. I love the bag I made for this. I was so proud of it when I made it, but I love this deck. It's so funny. It just is something that it's easy to use right out of the box. It pairs so well with so many oracles. It's so fun, and I have such a good memory of this deck because when it came in the mail, I had forgotten to take my ADHD medications that morning and was filling in at the circulation desk that day, so it was like really meant a lot of human interaction compared to my normal day, depending on the day, of course. But I remember as soon as he could, it ended up being like 2 o'clock, no, maybe earlier than that, but Paul drove to the library with my medications because I was so miserable, but he knew this had come in the mail, and so he put all the mail into his car when he came there because I mean, who doesn't love opening a package? So he knew that would just make me feel better because it was so slow that day at the library too. So I pretty much was sitting there by myself, got to open my package and flip through this and pick out, because there's a lot of alternative cards that I got with this, got to pick out my cards, and I think about that every single time I use this deck, and it's just such a good memory how like just a bad day turned upside down. So fun. So that's the Trion Fidel Luna Illustrated. Ooh, my camera's getting hot. Maybe we should take a break. It's definitely this candle, but doesn't it look pretty? Alright, I'm gonna let it cool down, and I'll be back. Okay. I think it's at least a little cooled down. Should I have moved this back? No, but I did. And that's okay. Okay. Let's keep rolling. The Brady Tarot. I really love the look of this one. The guidebook's written by Rachel Pollack, which is amazing. Look at the backs. I really enjoy this one. As I was talking about the Animal Botanical, I almost thought like, ooh, could that possibly replace this one? But no, I don't think so. I think this one still feels really unique, and I think what this one has over the other one is I feel like I can really use this as a tarot. And I also love the keywords. I think they're so good. But with the Animal Botanical, it feels like a deck where I am every single time going to really get into the guidebook, really look at the animal, the plant, like all that. And to me, that feels like I'm just gonna pull one card. When it starts to get really like in deep like that, it feels like there's too much going on if I pull more than one card. But this one, because in the guidebook, of course, it talks about the animals, but it doesn't feel necessarily like they are the central focus. It more so feels like they are just an energy, if that makes sense. Like, if I pull one of these cards, I could use it in this way, but I don't. But where, let's see, for example, what is it? If I pull strength, I could use it in the way of like, okay, now this reading is centering around bears. But I don't use it that way. To me, it just feels like this general animal energy because I can pull more than one card. Where with the animal botanical, I feel like I pull a card and it's like, okay, the things going on in this are really leading the reading. And now I'm kind of like, ooh, should I use them together? I think I should. I think that'd be really interesting. So I really enjoy this one. It's a really good animal deck. So that's the Brady Tarot. And I think I want to try them together. Ooh, so many things I want to do. This is like such the fun part of doing this every year for me, is that I get to pulling everything out. It's like I remember about certain decks or see connections that I wouldn't have before. It's so fun. All right. Next up is the Somnia Tarot. This is the OG edition. And I really love this one. This one leans pretty shadowy to me, and I think for most people. But I really just, I feel a sense of connection to this because where the photographs were taken is where I grew up. So I know these beaches, I know these surroundings really well. And it's so cool to see because sometimes Nicholas Bruno, the creator, will hide decks like out and about for people to find and just have for free, which I think is so fun. And every time he does, it's in this one like main town area that I would go to all the time. And like when I was visiting home over Thanksgiving, like me and my sister went there. And so I'm sitting there like, where do I think he would have hit a deck here? It's just so cool to see that connection. But it's a beautifully done deck. I love it. I love it so much. It just has this really haunting feeling to it that I love so much. So, that is the Somnia Tarot. And interestingly, this one also has a like dark goddess feel to me. I also really like pairing this one with the Mysteries of the Black Madonna. So, it's cool for that. Next up is the Literary Tarot in the most perfect bag of all time, right? That's a Sunset Bow boutique, but Sunset Bow Tarot, Cera here on YouTube makes them, and I love them so much. So this one is really cool. This was this was my first Kickstarter I ever backed. We only got the decks this year. So it was like 3 years in the making, but you know, it was a non-profit who put it together. All of the proceeds went to childhood literacy, so you know, that is okay in my book. I understand they were not really running on much time, much pay, because, you know, it was a project with a purpose in that way. But I've really been enjoying this one. I love getting to see all these stories, see which ones I know and I don't know. And I think it's just really fun. This is another one that feels like a single card draw to me. I love using this with the Shakespeare Tarot Oracle. Yeah, and I think it's just a fun, feels like a fun deck to have. Even if I don't end up using it tons. I really enjoy it, and I really enjoyed, of course, the cause that they stood for, considering I am a children's librarian. Of course, I had to support that. And that's how I found out about Kickstarters. My old neighbor who lived behind me that I was good friends with, of course, knew I was the children's librarian, so when she knew I liked tarot, so when she saw this come up on Kickstarter, she sent it to me immediately and was like, you need this. And I love it. I really do. I think it's so fun. So that is the literary tarot. Alright, next is the Crimson Asteria Tarot, and another perfect bag for it. Wait, hold on, we have to appreciate how perfect this bag is. This is a Peggy bag, of course. But like, oh my gosh, so good. So good. It's it matches the red perfectly in this deck. But I absolutely love this deck. Everything about like the edges being this red. Oh my gosh. I love everything about it. I love how the figures are just kind of drawn in this cool, odd way. I like how the guidebook's written. It feels like it's easy to read with, but I always find it so worthwhile getting into the guidebook, because it just takes it a little bit in a different direction every once in a while that I think is so cool. And it's another one that comes with these extra cards. I love extra cards. I just love the whole feeling of this deck. And actually this would be cool this time of year, huh? Feels kind of Christmassy because of the red and gold. I usually slot this into summer, but I don't know. Maybe this is more, I'm gonna keep this one out. I think it's so awesome. So that is the Crimson Asteria Tarot. And of course, coming up right after it, once I get this back in its bag, is the new version of the Cera Occulto. Ooh, actually, okay. Are we getting a 2-for-1 here? I think we should. So I keep this, this in the bag with the Mercury Salt Sulfur Oracle, because to me they just are a pairing, and this new version did come with some of these oracle cards in it. So I ended up taking them out and just keeping these in a bag together. So let's look at the tarot first. But this is another one where, again, I don't usually kind of permanently pair things, but these feel that way. I think because this version of the deck kind of had the oracle made to be part of it. But I love that I scratched mine. Ignore that. That's my fault. Let's look at this pretty one. I love that the backs are the same, but different colors as the other one. I mean, I love the art style. I think it's so fantastic. I do like that this one's borderless, because I feel like having both this and the Crimson Asteria, I get a good mix now. I love this color palette as well. I think this one's going to be really, really fun come January, where that Crimson Asteria feels December to me now that I look at it. This feels like January. Ooh, March? I feel like it's got a March vibe. So yeah, I really love this one, and I love how the Mercury Salt Sulfur Oracle pairs with it, which was so kindly sent to me by Allie from Totero here on YouTube, because she thought I'd like it, and she was so right. So the oracle cards that come with this are more in this borderless style, so it doesn't look exactly like this, but the cards, there's not all of the oracle cards, but the ones that are there are the same. So, which is why I ended up, while usually I love keeping extra cards in a deck, I kind of thought it would be a bit more fun to just use these together, and they do. Look how well they pair. Oh, I love, too, that there's one special card. So in the Crimson Asteria, it's a gold Medusa card, and this one, it's a red Griffin card. It also feels like, with those color choices, a bit of a nod to the other deck. So we've got red in this one and gold in the other. I think that's kind of cool. So I know I was keeping this to Indie Tarot, and this would be slotted into the Indie Oracle, but I mean, since they're together in the same bag, just so I don't forget to show it, we'll just show it here. Or I'm already showing it here, so that's what we're doing. But yeah, I love these together. I think they're so good together. So that is the Cera Occulto Tarot and the Mercury Salt Sulfur Oracle. But again, well, this specific version of the Oracle is out of print. The tarot does come with quite a few of the cards, so in a way you get like a 2-for-1. So that's kind of fun. And they fit so nicely, again, in another Peggy bag. I think this one is a bit of a larger one, but I'm not, maybe it's not. I think it's a standard size, I'm not sure. Don't remember. Alright. The Moonchild Tarot, this is the Shadow Edition. Now this is newer in my collection. I got it sometime this summer, I think. I haven't used it tons. I know this is completely outside of my usual comfort zone. This sort of like kind of astrological star seedy energy is not something I work with, but I think I was just really drawn to this deck for some reason, especially in this darker color palette. I really enjoy it. And it's something that when I want this kind of feeling, I am happy that I have a deck to do that. So even if I don't use this tons, or I haven't used it tons yet, I just have a feeling there's going to be a way I start using it that's gonna be like, oh yeah, this is it. Because I'm really starting to gain an interest in astrology. That's another thing I kind of want to mildly focus on this year, is just the astrological happenings. So this and like the She-Wolf Tarot to me are just nice decks to have in that category, and so I feel like satisfied now when it comes to that kind of energy. But I think this would be really cool with the Moonology decks, which I've been really getting into. So yeah, this is one I definitely want to work more with in this year. So I think I'm going to add it to that pile as well. Also a reminder too of wanting to kind of, oh, look at that Dark Veil card too. Are you kidding? Instead of the devil. So good. Yeah, also as a reminder of wanting to kind of do some more with astrology too. But I do follow Patrick from the Living Wheel on Instagram, and they make posts with, what's it called, current sky astrology, something like that. And so I write those in my little calendar I have. So I've already been starting to keep track of that kind of thing. But yeah, I think it'd be cool to bring cards into that. The Pythonic Tarot. I saw someone selling this the other day saying it was out of print, and I'm not sure if that's, I didn't go check. But I feel like this is one where she frequently will kind of sell out the copies she has and then restock them. So I don't know. I haven't heard elsewhere that this is out of print. I think if it seems that way, I would just sort of wait it out, because I feel like I've seen that happen a few times. But I really, really enjoy this deck. This is undeniably a dark goddess, dark mother deck for me. Another one I love with the Mysteries of the Black Madonna. It has a dark energy to it for sure. I don't even know, I wouldn't say shadowy, it just dark, magical feel. Feels very fantasy to me. It brings in a lot of deities. It's really, really neat. A lot of cool ideas going on in this, and I love the artwork. I don't know that I have anything more to say. I really enjoy it. I used this for my year ahead spread last year and really liked it. I kind of stopped working with the year ahead spread. I haven't decided if I'm gonna do it again this year. I don't know. The jury's out on that, because I've kind of been enjoying just pulling a card per month, but I really like this deck. This deck was cool for that. So that is the Pythonic Tarot. Next we've got the Silver Acorn Tarot. Oh my gosh. I could not wait for this deck to come out. As soon as it did too, immediate buy. Immediate buy. And the creator also creates right near the town I grew up too, so that's a cool happening there as well. But this deck is so fun. The artwork is so magical. I love it so much. It has been getting so much use since I got it. Something about it feels so special. Like, the artwork feels so crisp and clear, and the cards are just slightly oversized. It just really makes the experience, like, I don't know, I feel like it's a deck that dominates the table in the best kind of way. You know what I mean? Where sometimes some decks, it's like the art gets kind of lost. This one does not. It's just demands attention when it's out, and I love it for that. I think it's so fun. It's so fun. It is an RWS clone that I love to pieces. So, Silver Acorn Tarot. And I love this bag I have it in. Oh my gosh, so cute. Ooh, we're overheating again. You just have a few more. You can do it, camera. You can do it. Oh my gosh. That probably is so startling to you all. I'm so sorry. It's because I've got quite the interesting setup going on here. The way things are balanced. I should fix that. But, you know. Later time thing. Tarot de St. Croix. Love this one. This is another one that has a distinct divine energy to me. That's always how I use it. It comes out in pretty much exclusively goddess readings, or any sort of like spiritual kind of reading I'm doing in that kind of way. And I love it so much for that. Another one that's really cool with the Mysteries of the Black Madonna. Can you tell I use that deck a lot? It feels like when I'm doing a goddess reading, immediately I'm like, oh, Black Madonna, let's go. And probably because I do them a lot of times at night, so that's probably a feature of that. But yeah, I love this one. I love the size. I love the art. I love the associations in the guidebook. It's so good, so magical. And I love this version too of the borderless. I'm not a border hater, but I don't know. Sometimes I like them, sometimes I don't. And on this one I like the no border. So that's the Tarot de St. Croix. The Cute and Creepy Tarot. Love this one. It's so much fun. This is really just a feel-good deck to me. The artist is, I think, originally trained as a tattoo artist. If not that, like, they do tattoo art. And so it has a bit of that feel to it. But also, it feels like tattoo art coloring book in the best kind of way. And I love all the colors going on. I love all the different creatures. It's so much fun to use. I get such a kick out of this one. It comes to work with me quite often. Because it fits the vibe I tried to build. in the children's area of the library where it's fun and colorful. And a place to have fun and be colorful. I love it for that. So, cute and creepy tarot. Alright, three more. Three more people. Next we've got the, upside down, Oceanum arcanae, the Ocean Tarot. This is a beautiful deck. I got this one used right before we went on the trip to, where'd we go? Aruba? I get all those kinds of places mixed up in my head, but that's where we were. Pretty sure. And it was so fun to use while we were there, because we were right on the ocean. But why I got this one, because I'm not really one to like, I mean, that was a big trip for me, so it's okay that I got some decks like just for that, but I didn't really, is what I'm trying to say, because this one, I just love the array of ocean animals going on. I love the art style, doesn't feel super like in my face beach. It's not beach, it's like deep sea, and so I really love using this tarot for that, the theme of like deep diving water in any kind of way, that watery energy. If I'm looking to really dive deep into that, this is the deck I use, because so many of the cards take place in that deep sea. And so it really has a solid position in my collection, because as I said, I really don't have many watery decks. I've got this in the Flow Tarot for tarot, and that's it. And I'm pleased. I'm pleased with how they function. So that is the Ocean Tarot. I love it. I love the backs. Aren't they so pretty? Okay. Next, the Heartscape Tarot. This deck is so gorgeous. I find myself often just flipping through the cards. Look at the backs. I love that, first of all, and the sides are really neat. Ooh, that's cool that the Fool's on top. But I'm sure you all have seen this just all over the place lately, because it has been quite popular as of late, and for good reason, because it is so gorgeous. I love that it's a landscape deck. But it's like, it's normal tarot size, if not even maybe a little smaller. So it doesn't feel overwhelming having to be laid out horizontally on the table. But oh my gosh, look at that art. It's so, so gorgeous. Like I was saying, a lot of times I'll just take this out to flip through. I haven't found really its perfect pairings yet. Look at the cats. So if you have this and pair it with things, let me know. Because I'd love to use it much more than I do, but it certainly gets enough appreciation, because I'll sit and do this all the time. I think it's so gorgeous. So, that is the Heartscape Tarot, and this was out of print for a hot second. I think they just didn't really have stock. I don't know that I would say out of print, but I want to say I've seen that there's stock again, so definitely check that out. I think like Tivada Tarot carries it. Yeah, but that's the Heartscape Tarot. Such a good one. Okay, last but not least for today, ladies and gents, he, she, theys, the nameless one. And this could have been a toss-up for where I put it, because I'm putting it in tarot because we have all of the tarot cards. You're gonna have to ignore the oil on it, as usual. I use like a special oil with it, so it's oily, okay? We'll get past it. It's alright. Anyway, it's got all the tarot cards, and then it's got extra oracle cards, so it felt like it should go in this category, but if I'm being real, I use it like an oracle. I can't imagine how someone would pull multiple cards from this, although I guess if you just use the book that comes with it, there's still a lot in here, but actually, I could see how one would pull multiple cards and just use it kind of like a tarot, but to me it feels like a one card focus at a time. It's so beautiful. I've just been getting so much out of this deck since getting it. I have it with the big grimoire, which is so worth it in my opinion. I love that card. It's just magical. It's really magical and well done and so thought out. Everything just has a purpose and reason, and it's fantastic. I can't say enough good things about that. So that is the Nameless One Tarot, and that, my friends, is the last deck for today. So next time we will finish up the indie tarots and then move on to the oracles. So I will see you all again very soon.